Guys, as you can tell by the title, we're going to talk about the best production knife I've ever owned. And so let me lead into it and say I'm not saying it's the best production knife out there. I'm just saying it is the production knife that I feel is the best one I've ever bought, I've ever purchased. It's not like this is something I bought, specifically sought out to buy it. And so, with that being said, there's gonna be a lot of you are like, oh, it's gonna be a Ferrum Forge. And I'm gonna tell you why it's not a Ferrum Forge. I'm trying to move some stuff around here, and the magnets keep getting stuck together. It is not a Ferrum Forge, and that is strictly because I honestly, to tell you guys the truth, and I think I've said it before, I don't put Ferrum Forge knives in the same realm as production knives. They're not mid-tech. They're more akin to customs, but not quite. So they're out of that. And then there's other companies. So I'm not going to talk about any mid-techs. I've owned no customs, nothing like that. So that being said, people are going to immediately think that I'm thinking of those, but I'm not. I'm just finishing the edge on this. So in my pocket, I have a knife that I bought that is a production knife that I was so pleasantly surprised with that I've touted its merits, and I think some of you already know where we're going with this. I can't tell you how many times I've showed it videos and things like that, and I get the same response from everybody else that I have when I carry it. And it's this one. It's my React, my Horizon D. I have never owned a more perfect production knife, and that's what this is, 100% production. I've owned mid-techs and things like that were up there, but from execution to the way in-hand feel, the finish, the look, the everything about it has been stellar from the day I bought it. When they first came out on, the first I remember seeing them on, I think I saw one on Jim's channel, on Jim Skelton's channel. And then I found one in stock, I think Blade HQ or Knife Center. And so mine is carbon fiber, titanium, M390. I had the carbon fiber version. And everything about this is just about perfect for what I would carry. The blade, the edge geometry, the blade thickness, the width of the blade, the big belly. I use this knife so often. I honestly leave this in the case. I have to sometimes force myself not to carry this knife. And so a lot of people are like, oh, I can't believe you're not saying it's like a case or a buck or something like that because, you know, I support American. But everything about this knife from day one has been extremely perfect, with the exception of one small thing that I rectified. The sharpening notch used to be about half the width of what it is now, and so I just opened that up. Now I have exactly what I would want. The weight, the in-hand feel, just enough weight forward. I'm not a fan of sculpted pocket clips, and this one is just about perfect. So when I say that this is, I mean, there's never been a hint of blade play, anything. This knife gets used a lot, and I've never had any issues with the assembly, the parts. I did lose a bearing one time, and I got a hold of their U.S. Rep, and I got a replacement bearing race. The milling on it, gorgeous. I mean, yeah, I re-anodized everything on it. I mean, the milling on the carbon fiber gets you almost a checkered pattern, and I know you guys have seen this before. So I can honestly say there were two production knives. Two production knives that I really got in hand that made me, I completely changed my mind about knife manufacturing and things like that. One of them was my Microtech DOC. That's the first basically high-end production knife that I ever got, like higher end. And then when I got that one, I was like, this is better than my customs. And I sold some of the custom folders that I had. I'm not gonna get into what I had. That's been years ago. It's been 4 years ago now. And then I got this one and I was like, holy shit. This is better than any custom knife I've ever owned. It truly is. And so is that DOC. And so those two knives started this, why am I paying $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 for a knife when there's knives that are available in a much cheaper price range? And so you've got other companies that are going up against some of the big names. And Dave was like the one that kind of opened your eyes to what was possible out of a quality folder. Now, don't get me wrong. This was not cheap. I think these were $410 when I bought this one. But I mean, it not only is it functional, it is gorgeous. So they weren't cheap. I'm not trying at all to say that they were cheap. I'm just saying that they were super high quality production. And then, like I said, then Microtech's knives, well, people are, that's a polarizing argument right there, Microtech knives. Some people are bent. They don't like Microtech. They don't like their practices and things like that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've met a lot of the Microtech guys. I've met Anthony and 3 of his sons. One who owns Heretic Knives, and they're great people. They really are some of the nicest people that you want to meet. So, some people don't like them. Well, that's a personal preference. But to say that they're not quality knives, that's a big statement that I wouldn't want to make, because I got news for you. They are never had a problem with any of the Microtechs I've ever owned. But we've digressed. No, this knife is by far, of any of the production knives I've ever bought, has held up better. It's maintained its appearance and length. It gets used, but the action and everything on it and the way it feels in hand are just about perfect. Everything on this is exactly what I would want. And I mean, a lot of knives I have a forward choil. This, you don't really need a forward choil on this. This knife's handle has got so much room for purchase that you don't need that forward choil. It's got the thumb. Now the jimping, granted, I don't need jimping, really. A lot of my knives don't even have jimping. But it's got a thumb ramp here where you can get it in your hand. Just the same reason I put one on my Hornet. You can get up on it and do some little detail work, and it gives you just another spot of purchase that just fits perfectly for what you'd be getting ready to do. If that's, cleaning up something, doing some fine detail cutting. But then you've got that big, wide blade with all that belly for big cuts that you might need to do through line and rope. This thing eats up. You can cut fucking canvas with this all day, cardboard all day. Your hands don't get tired. It's got a wide enough handle that, I see a lot of guys carry, they're trying to do some heavy cutting and they're using something like this. And I have news for you. If you're using something that's, your hands are going to cramp up. It's like trying to pull a rope, and if it's a skinny rope, you're trying to pull something up, your hands are going to cramp up. It has just about the perfect in-hand feel. And I mean, the pocket clip disappears. I've been known to take the pocket clip clear off of this and just carry it as like a traditional folder if I knew I was going to do a lot of heavy cutting where I didn't necessarily want the pocket clip in my hand. But it doesn't obstruct, it doesn't get in the way, things like that. So that's, I mean, I can't tell you, like, that's how I judge. That's how I judge the quality of a knife or anything, if after years, and like I said, it's been a few years. I think I would have to go back, but it's been about 3 years since I bought this knife. When you've got something that when you pick it up, you get that same feeling that you got when it first came in the mail, that tells you something. That tells you something about the design, about the aesthetic, the quality, everything about it. If this knife had had any issues, this would have went away. It would have went. I can't even say that about my Sebenza, as much as I like Sebenzas. And I do like Sebenzas. I talk about them needing to step into the, into the modern, but the fact is I still do appreciate a Sebenza for what it is, which is elegant simplicity, I think is what I said before. But when you go to your knife case and you see, when you get a new knife, yeah, of course, that's the one you're going to grab. But when you go to a case and you see a knife that you have owned for years and you still like, that's going in my pocket today. I've got to carry that. That tells you something about that knife and something about the thought that went into it. So there it is, guys. The best production knife I have ever bought. Hands down, period. To date. It's 2019. There might be something out there. No, I'm not saying it's the best knife I own. And I'm not going to say it's my favorite knife I own. I'm just saying out of the productions, because I've got that Master Blaster that Matt and Nico bought for me that Elliot made. I've got the Mordax that Nico just recently gifted me because he had it sold and basically the deal fell through, so we worked something out where I basically am gonna make his knife for him for basically the price of that Mordax. So I mean, that was financially sound for him, and I got something I was looking for. So there's other knives in there that take the, as far as how much I love these knives, but not many. I mean, this knife definitely hits above its weight class and does it well. I mean, a $400 knife that has pushed $1,200 and $1,300 knives, I'll see $1,200 and $1,300 knives at shows, $2,200 knives, and I'm like, I don't get it. I'm not seeing it being any nicer, any better than my Horizon D. And then when you refinish it like that, holy Nikes, guys. So that's it. I don't know if you guys noticed, I've been trying to keep my videos at or around the 15-minute mark. I know that anything more than that, you guys start getting antsy when we get out. So we're at like 12 minutes now. I do appreciate all the support. We've had a few people that donated to the GoFundMe that donated a lot. Actually, there was a couple people that donated significantly. If you are interested in supporting my daughter's ice skating season, I've started putting the link in the comments section, not in the comments, in the description below. But other than that, guys, if you like the videos, give them a thumbs up. I say this every time, but I got to keep saying it. That's how these get shared, and that's how we expand this community. I don't make anything to speak of on YouTube. What I want is a robust community of people that want to discuss things in the comments section, but in a way that is sane, sensible, not screaming and hollering, not calling people names. So if you like the videos, give them a thumbs up. If you don't like them, give them a thumbs down. Anybody that becomes abusive in the comment section, I block anyway, so it doesn't matter who it gets shared to. So that, and if you want to support the channel, Patreon really hasn't been doing much. It's going to wind up, this month's Patreon's going to wind up a new top for this canopy. So if you want to support the channel that way, that's fine. But all said and done, guys, if you don't, that's fine. Just keep watching the videos. Keep hanging out. I'm not begging. It's not e-begging. It's just if you choose. So you guys take it easy. Love you all. Thanks for watching my daughter's skating video. It was amazing. So I'm out. I don't want to do the Columbo thing. Oh, one more thing. Talk to you guys later.